Hey, what's up guys? My video today is all about a $0 to $50 DIY home NAS. Now I say $0 because if you have an old PC, then you don't need to spend anything unless you're going to upgrade some of the parts of your old PC. Okay, so I said $50. If you don't have an old PC, you can also go ahead to AB and search for a PC like mine here. Search on eBay, you have $50, $30, $35, $45, around that price range. With that $50, you can build your home NAS. There is a room for improvement and upgrading this one, but I'm going to stick with the current specification, which is an i3 second generation processor, 4 gigabytes of RAM, that is DDR3, and 500 gigabytes HDD. Now later on, if you want to upgrade, then you can also upgrade, or if you have an extra cash, there are a few things that you can improve, like the RAM. You can put this one to 8 gigabytes. Then the HDD, that is 500 gigabytes. Probably you need to upgrade it into a terabyte or 2 terabytes so that it would be spacious enough for your files. Okay?
The release year for this PC that I have is 2011. So this is already 10 years old PC that we can use for a NAS.
There are still a few things that we need to use, like on the recommendations of TrueNAS on their website, you need to use an SSD that you can add into the hard drive for the operating system of TrueNAS. That is separate from the HDD where you're going to save your files. If we don't want to spend more cash, we can stick with that specification and use a USB stick, which is not recommended, but it's going to work, okay? So if you're a DIY guy, you want to try things, you're still learning how to do things, then this will be a perfect kind of setup scenario for you. So the other one is for the operating system of TrueNAS. It's either a USB stick or another hard drive inside, and then another USB stick for the OS to flash the operating system into the unit. Okay, so at least 2 USB stick, monitor, at the same time your keyboard, because we need to use these ones to set up the NAS. If your NAS is already up and running, you can just unplug this one and let this one run, because you can access it via web browser. We are going to use TrueNAS. Let's go ahead and download the things that we need for the software of this.
So jump into TrueNAS website. I'll also put a link in the description below so that you can just go ahead and click that, and then you can go straight up to the TrueNAS website. So TrueNAS and FreeNAS unite. I made a video about 2 years ago about FreeNAS, but today it's all about TrueNAS because it's the new guy in town. So TrueNAS Core is the free use for everybody. Okay, so that's what we're going to use. You can read more of the details here. I'll just go ahead and click download. Now, before you continue to download, join other 160k TrueNAS newsletter subscribers. Okay, I will just use my Google account. Select that Google account that I have there. Then here you go, the download link will appear. Just go ahead and click this. This will take some time to download, so you need to wait for it. I'll just cut out the time that this downloaded the TrueNAS Core. There you go, it's downloaded. I'll check where it was placed. There you go, good. So I'll also add a link on the description below, step-by-step documentation of TrueNAS on how you can set up TrueNAS Core, and some of the recommendations that they have here, like the 8 gigabytes of RAM and additional SSD for your OS. But like what I've said, this is intended for more of those users who wants more out of the TrueNAS. So anyways, our main goal is to set up a simple sharing with our TrueNAS, so our 4 gigabytes of RAM and USB stick will just work for us. Okay, so you can go ahead and read along those ones. So I'll have my extra USB stick and plug it to my laptop so that we can start flashing that OS. But before you can flash that, you need to download this app called Etcher. I'll also place a link on the description below. This is the software that is going to be used to flash the OS of TrueNAS to your USB stick and will become a bootable device as an installer for TrueNAS into your system. This will take time, about 2 to 3 minutes, so I'll just cut out the time that you're going to wait. If you are doing this one at the same time watching this video, you can pause this video and come back when you downloaded the software already. Now we're done. Let's go ahead and install this Etcher. Just double click, then agree. The app will start right away. The first step, we need to load up the TrueNAS Core that we downloaded. So it's going to be flashed to the USB stick that we plugged in. So locate that one into what location you have saved that downloaded TrueNAS. It will automatically detect the USB stick that we plugged in earlier. Then we go ahead and click flash. Then wait for this one to finish up. The flashing will take about 5 to 8 minutes, so you can just leave it there, do something, and come back if it's done. So that's what I'm going to do here so that you're not going to watch the whole video. So like what I've said, if you are watching this one at the same time doing it, feel free to pause this video and come back when everything is done. Okay, finalizing, and then this will show up. Don't click that format disk because that's what's going to happen if it's done. You can see it's flash complete. Unplug the USB stick and ready for installation. So if you remember, I mentioned 2 USB sticks because the other one is going to be where the OS is going to be installed. And the first one that we used was the one where we flash the USB stick. So what's going to happen is from the first USB stick, the OS will be installed to the second USB stick. Let's power on this PC. Then we need to keep on pressing F2 so that we jump into the BIOS settings and change the boot order for this device. Or if you know the boot menu key of your PC, you can also use that one so that we are going to boot up from the USB stick where we flashed the TrueNAS core and then start the installation. I'll also place a link on the description below, so if you are using a different kind of PC, you can check the boot menu key or the BIOS key for your PC. Okay, so it jumped me here where I can go ahead and change the boot sequence. Now, this is previously used as a Windows PC. So you can see Windows Boot Manager. I'm going to uncheck this one. Alright, so you can see it's only a USB stick that's there. We go ahead and apply that. Then hit that exit button. This will go ahead and restart itself and start booting up from that USB stick where we flash the TrueNAS core, and we can start the installation process. While this is booting up, guys, it will load up several things and it will take you about 3 to 5 minutes to wait for this one and jump into the next option. So that we're not going to wait, I did a quick fast forward here so that it will load up all these things in a faster manner and we're not going to wait for it. Alright. So it's loading up a different thing right now. This is the next step. As you can see in the very first thing there, it says boot TrueNAS installer. So we need to press enter. Or if you're not going to press that one right away, it's going to count 5 seconds and it will load up the first option. Now before the next step, this will take you around 3 to 5 minutes again because it needs to load up those installation files so we can continue the installation. So I did a quick fast forward for this. Feel free to pause the video and come back when the next option appears. This is our next step. First option is install and upgrade or upgrade. Okay, so we're going to go for that. The computer has less than the recommended 8 gigabytes of RAM. That's okay with us. Let's just go ahead and continue anyway. Yes. All right. It detected 2 hard drives. The first one is the internal hard drive. The second one is the USB stick where we are going to install the TrueNAS system. Now, the first drive that is selected here is where we're going to save files and share it to our network. So this is not our option. We are going to install it to our USB stick. So I'm going to select this and then kind of press enter. Warning, this will erase all partitions and data. Well, we are sure, so yes, we are going to use that one. Then we need to set our password. After that, just hit enter, then boot via UEFI. Sure, just press enter again. Then it will continue to load up installation files. Then basically you're not going to do anything else here for around 10 to 12 minutes because once it loads up these files, it's going to continue to install the OS of TrueNAS into your system. So what I'm going to do here is fast forward this one so that we're not going to wait that long again. And feel free to pause this video, and when you're at the next step, then go ahead and play this back again and continue playing this one, so that we are going to be on the same page while you're watching this. Now, this is the next step. Once everything is done, this message will show up. The TrueNAS installation on DA0 succeeded. Please reboot and remove the installation media. Alright, so I went ahead and unplugged the USB stick that we used to install. Then that showed up. I'll just go ahead and press OK. This option will appear. Then we need to select Reboot System. Then press OK. Okay, the system is starting up. Alright. So the first option that we got there is Boot TrueNAS. Press Enter. You can press Enter or wait for the default of 5 seconds and it will boot up by itself. Okay. While waiting for this, I'm going to plug in the Ethernet cable because after this installation, we're going to access this NAS through our web browser. Alright. So this will continue to load up things. It will take time since it's the first time it's going to boot up. So around 5 minutes or 8 minutes to wait again. So I'll fast forward it so that we're going to cut that time that we're going to wait. Now when that's done, you can see the console setup. And you will see that HTTP 192.168.1.250, that is the IP address of this NAS system. And you can configure other things here, but let's just go ahead and jump into our web browser so that we can configure that NAS. So what I'm going to do, remove the monitor, remove the keyboard. If you have a mouse, remove it. Then we'll have our laptop, configure it through the web browser. Open up your browser, type in the IP address 192.168.1.250 that is located at the console when I showed you earlier before we remove the monitor. The username is root. The password is the password that we created when we started installing the NAS system. Okay, if you haven't logged into FreeNAS before, this looks really cool. A lot of useful information with this device. All right, you have the internet, you have your memory, and so on. So the first thing I want to do here is kind of set this one on static so that it's not going to change the IP address if it goes off. So go for your network, then interfaces, select that, and then edit. I want to disable the DHCP and then kind of put this one into static mode. I'll type in 192.168.1.250. I'll just use the same IP so that it will be, I don't need to log out right now. Okay, so I'll apply. All right, back to dashboard. Let's continue creating user accounts. So we can go ahead and create a group. I'll just go ahead and display node, add a group. So I'll just name this one as home users. Yep. There you go. Submit. I always like creating groups because it's easier to group people by permission, something like that. So you can add more groups if you want. Now, after creating a group, let's go ahead and create a user so that we can add him to that group. Okay, so the name will be Tsurugi Pro. Nickname, T-Pro. Gmail, let's give it a fake email. The password, confirm password. Then new primary group, we're going to uncheck that one because we have created a home user group. So that will be your group, Mr. T-Pro home user. There you go. Gonna check you up. Group, then others. We can also permit sudo, submit. Okay. User created, group created. Let's go ahead and share some files. So you can add more users if you want. Back. The next thing I want to do is start creating a sharing. So let's go to storage and then pools. Since this is the first time we're going to use this one, we need to create everything from scratch. So add pool, create pool. We go ahead and type a name for this. T-Pro files. Now down here, if you have one or more drives, it will be listed here. Now we only have one, so I'll just select that and then put it on the other side. Since we are not going to do redundancy, the only option for us is do striping. We're going to force at one, confirm, continue, then create. With TrueNAS, you can do RAID, where you can have redundancy, but in our case, we only have one drive. You can upgrade if you want, add more storage so that you can save more. Now, we are going to configure this. Click on the three dots there and then click on add data sets. This is one of the things that I have seen that changed from FreeNAS to TrueNAS. So type in a name. I'll put it as shared files. Then description, files for Torogo Pro. Alright, then there's not much here. You can click on advanced settings, but I'm not going to change anything there. Let's go ahead and submit this. So you can see that these shared files is under the T-Pro files. Okay, kind of tree kind of set. Now after that, let's go ahead and jump into sharing and click on Windows Share. Let's add. Then I'll just click that mount and click on T-Pro files, click on shared files. Okay. Then I want to share that one, so I'm going to submit. Wait for it. Now it will ask us to configure an ACL for the files that we are going to share. So I'm just going to select create a custom ACL for the file directory that we are going to share. This directory. Now there are two options here that you can see, by user or by group. So if you want to do it by group, then you can go ahead and select the user that you want this one to be applied for, which is T-Pro if you want. But if you want to do a group wherein everybody's a member of the group, where it's a bit more kind of easier, I guess, then that's the reason why we created home user group. So we can just go ahead and apply this one to the group wherein T-Pro is a member of that group. So it makes sense, right? Now these are the custom ACL that we have here, and we can configure them. Okay, we can inherit that. Then let's go ahead and edit the permissions. I just want to give full access to this group of people. So yeah, come on, give them all the check marks there. There you go. All right, so that we will not have trouble on permissions. So save that. Then we're ready to access our drive or our NAS. So we can access that one typing //192.168.1.250 on our search bar. Then press enter. Of course, it will prompt us to enter the credentials that we created for the user T-Pro, because we created that one on our NAS. Then type in the password, then okay. So there you go, we have the shared files there. But I don't want to keep on typing 192.168.1.250 every time I'm going to access my NAS. I don't want to be doing this one. So what we're going to do is map that drive. Okay, so click on this PC there, then computer option will be shown up there, and then you will have that map drive. Type in the IP address 192.168.1.250 here, the IP address of your NAS. Then click on browse, click that drop down, and you will see shared files. Click that and then okay. Then this will reconnect every time you're going to sign in. So I'm going to show it to you. So this is how it looks like. If you're going to log out, if you're going to log in, if you're going to turn off your computer, back in and out, that drive will be available there. So I'm going to try to create a folder here. My videos. Cool. How about deleting it? Yeah, because we gave full kind of capability to this directory to our home user group. How about copying something, sound effects, and then put it to that drive, shared drive, paste it. There you go. So I'm just going to copy these sounds and then paste it to my NAS. Paste. All right, that's a very quick, good example that we have there. 100% NAS setup is working. Now, if you have any questions, guys, just let me know in the comments below. And like what I've said regarding NAS, if you want to really have that NAS in your house or at your office, one of the things that you would want to consider with this specification that I have is the memory that is 4 gigabytes, put it into 8 gigabytes, and of course the drive, you need more space if you want more space. And then of course the interface or the Ethernet port that you have, we are using a 100 megabits speed here. If you can put that one into a gigabit, that would be much better. I hope you have learned something from this video, and if you are not yet subscribed, guys, help me make a dream of 100,000 subscribers. Goodbye, TrueNAS.